boys and girls. Today's lesson is about putting together your clarinet or saxophone mouthpiece with your reed. Now today I'm going to be using a clarinet mouthpiece, but the same idea applies to saxophone as well. So first of all, you need to have your reed out. Also, if you're a clarinet player, you need to have your mouthpiece and your barrel. And if you're a saxophone player, you need to have your mouthpiece and ligature, that's the metal part, and also your neck piece, which we'll talk about later. First of all, we're going to talk about the reed. The reed is the most breakable part of your woodwind instrument. Reeds are very fragile, they're expensive, and really breakable. So we want to be really careful with how we treat them, and we want to be very respectful not to break our reeds. So first of all, let's talk about the cases. So this is a reed case, it's plastic. It holds your reed nice and safe, and you can go ahead and pull your reed out of there. Now, the part that I'm holding on the reed is the base of the reed. This is the front and this is the back. The back has Rico 2 written on it. Yours might say something a little bit different. The front is here. It's kind of polished. The back is all the same color and feel. I'm holding onto the base and this is the tip. Now, I never touch the tip because the tip is the most breakable part of your reed. Any little thing can catch on it and snap part of your reed in half. So be really careful with it. Now, one thing that is very common with my students is when they're putting their reed back in their reed case, they might break it putting it back in. So you got to be really careful. The tip goes in first. So tip first. I place it carefully in the case, and then I push the reed until it's near the end here. It's almost even with the end of the reed case, if you can see that right here. If I push it all the way in, my reed is going to get stuck and I won't be able to get it out, or I might break the tip. So let's try that again. Take your reed out, and now we're going to put it back in, and we're going to put it in tip first. So the fragile part is going in first. Carefully slide it in so that it is even with the end. All right, so we've practiced that. Take your reed out, put it in your mouth. You can let your reed sit on your tongue and close your mouth around it. I'm going to take my reed out for now just because I need to keep talking and I need you guys to understand me. So I'm going to take my reed out. You can keep yours in, like this. I'm going to set mine aside for a second. Now we have grab your mouthpiece and ligature. The ligature is the metal part that goes with it. It has the screws. Now the ligature can go on, only goes on one way. If you're finding that your ligature isn't going on, like this, oh, why won't it go on there? You have to flip it over and make sure that's in the right spot. Now, the back of the mouthpiece has an open hole. The front has a smooth, closed surface. We want the screws to be in back with the open hole of the mouthpiece. Now, I unscrew my ligature a little bit. Not all the way. The screws are still in there. You can still see them. They're holding. And now I'm going to grab my reed. You can take yours out of your mouth. And I'm going to turn like this to show you how to do this. Now, here's my mouthpiece. I slide my ligature up so that there is space right here, and I don't put my reed in the mouthpiece. It goes over the hole. I slide it down. Watch how I'm not touching the tip of the reed, and the polished side is facing me. Slide the polished side down, don't touch the tip. When I think it's about right, I can line up my ligature like that. Now the last step I have to do, because if you look at the tip of the reed, it's almost at the top of my clarinet mouthpiece or your saxophone mouthpiece. That's correct. This is incorrect. This reed is up way too high, and if I turn my mouthpiece around, you can see right here that there's too much reed showing over the mouthpiece. So we want to change that. So I'll slide it back down. Don't touch the tip. Pull my ligature down with my thumb, and then I tighten the screws by turning away from me. This should be the perfect setup for your reed. Now, you have all of this on this piece of paper. Don't forget, this is a really valuable resource for you to use. You can follow all the steps down here to put your reed on, and you can watch this video. That should help you. The last step for me as a clarinet player is to put my mouthpiece onto my barrel. I can use some pork grease. I have two different kinds. And I just rub it in, put some on there, rub it in, and then I put the two pieces together. Try to be careful of your reed as you do this, because I'm touching here, not here. With a saxophone, you do the same exact thing, except you put your mouthpiece onto the neck piece. Remember that if you're using your neck piece, you need to be careful not to hold the neck at the back. You have to hold it near the cork so that we don't break the neck piece off. And that's all I have for you guys today. Make sure that it looks like this, or that it matches your picture. Now you can go watch your other first lesson video and you should be all set to go. Enjoy!